Hello, ministry partners and family and friends. Hey, we're on the Steens Mountain Pass. We're just have finished A Rock Church and we're headed for Redding, California to go visit my mom and Gina's mom and some family there. And we're excited to get away for a few days after some really busy weeks. But there's something here I want to show you because it's quite fascinating. You see right behind me, you can see this line right there. Right there. See across there? It goes all the way across. That's coming up through these valley up here and crossing this mountain. Well, what that is that's an old wagon trail. And that wagon trail followed along there, and this is the way they came came west from way out back east. Now, I just want you to think about it for a moment. These people came a long way. Some of them came from overseas. Some of the Basque people came from northern Spain and southern France. They would make their way by ship, get into New York, go through Ellis Island, somehow figure out all that, not speaking English, get out there, get on a train out of Ellis Island, make their way somewhere out of there, figure out how to get all the way to Missouri, Independence, Missouri, grab a wagon train, then get all the way out here because they had family that had come out here or running sheep or running cattle out here. It is absolutely amazing how people got out here. But these old wagon trails, now they would trail along here, and the dad would probably be driving the old buckboard wagon. The sons and the wife and children would be out front, and they would be throwing rocks along the side or stacking them on the sides of the road to hold the road for other wagon trains. In fact, if you walk out there, there's still ruts, wagon train ruts out there where these wagons came through here. Now, if you follow this one, it goes up over here, goes over this pass here, and it drops down quite a ways, another 20, 30 miles, dumps into a massive valley on the way to Burns, Oregon. Incredible hay ground, still to this day. Big cattle ranches, big hay outfits. They're trying to get to some of that. Some were going to go all the way to the coast, to the Columbia River, and so forth. But most were trying to come to settlements out in here, and they came so far. And when you get in this country and you live here and you see what it would take to get here, you're just amazed at the tenacity of these people to be able to do this. But I got to ask a lot of questions like, well, how did the gospel get out there? Well, Romans chapter 10, verse 13 says that if you call on the name of the Lord, you'll be saved. Well, there's a lot to that statement. When you call on the name of the Lord, that's God motivating you, right? Dead people don't do that on their own. It's God stirring within you, drawing you to himself. And when you called, what God did is he sends somebody. This happens in missions all over the world. When somebody calls out for God to know him and to be saved by him and to understand who Jesus is, God sends people. He's done that from the beginning, sending people, whether it be prophets in the Old Testament, apostles in the New Testament, church planners as the church was scattered and needing pastors and men to teach them, all the way to missions, modern day missions around the world, starting with men like William Carey's, the father of world missions, going to India and so forth. But the same was true out here on the range, out in the West. That meant people would cry out that God would send a preacher, someone who could proclaim the word of God, and God would send them. And they came on these wagon trains too. This is how they got here, was through these wagon trains. And they would come out here. So many people died. My brother's done a ton of research on it. And I believe he told me that there's 10 people buried per mile from Independence, Missouri to the West Coast. That's how many people died. They died of all kinds of things. Snake bit, run over by wagon trains, shot each other, Indian raids, you name it. There's just tons of cemeteries gathered, ones you'd probably never see because they buried them along the way. But the gospel came with them. And God made sure that there was those men who could preach and teach. Our own mission would have been American Sunday School Union way back in there. Had missionaries caught on either side of the Civil War, sending missionaries out west with wagon trains so that the gospel would go out here, churches would be planted, children would hear the gospel. These little prairie churches, these way out here would be developed. And so here we are all these years later, 2025, still teaching in churches. Our buildings are old. I mean, one of them's a 2-room schoolhouse that was used in 2 different schools, bought by this church in the 50s and 1960, and drug over and placed on the piece of ground that we have it on now. All done way back then. In fact, one of the older men in our church, he said, I went to the school. I was in the corner because I was in trouble all the time. And yet all this happened because people came. They wanted a better life. They sought out here, but they cried out for God, and God sent them preachers and teachers. And so this country's rough. It's a little rainy, a little cool today. Is wild out here, and but this, you can see that wagon train. So just think about that. Still to this day, people even in the dark jungles, and I know missionaries in Papua New Guinea that can give testimony that when God calls, on the heart of a native way out in the middle there, God will send somebody, and they've often been those people. So I hope that encourages you. Come out here, we'll show you some wagon trains and roads and all the things that people went through out here. It is amazing. All right, blessings. Have a great day. We love you. Thank you for your support and your prayers. We sure appreciate you. Keep praying for us. We appreciate that. All right, bye-bye.